Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm your host, Danny Vega, along with my other host. I'm not trying to suggest I'm above her.
Hey, Sarah.
And we're joined today by a very special guest, my girlfriend, Danny.
Hi, everyone.
She did not wish to have any other identifying information associated with her, but I think you could probably figure out who she is because she's my girlfriend. So if you want to track her down, just track me down.
And she's also a Patreon subscriber.
Yes, and that is why she is here. Don't think this is nepotism, folks. She is a paying customer. I just got my appendix taken out.
Yeah.
So I thought I would tell you.
Literally insane.
First of all, big win for neurosis and hypochondria.
Oh my God.
Name a better duo.
Oh my God.
Basically, my morning started on Friday with this very slight pain. Like, we're talking about a feeling below my stomach, this little tiny pain. And I told my coworker, I was like, I think I have appendicitis. And he laughed in my face and he was like,
oh my God.
You would be doubled over if you had appendicitis. And I was like, he's right. I'm crazy. I thought I had cancer before. I mean, I've thought it all.
Yeah,
Wow.
You're generally crazy.
I'm generally crazy. So I go back to work, whatever. And then we had Chipotle catered, which, by the way, Chipotle
Does not help appendicitis, I imagine.
Well, so my rationalization was like, if I'm eating the catered Chipotle, clearly I don't have appendicitis.
How can you rate this pain when you got into work?
Literally like 0.5 or 1. Like, we're talking
are you
about
serious?
a very vague ache.
Oh, that could be like gas, I feel
That's
like.
what I thought, right? I
Yeah,
was like,
That's what I thought.
it could be
That's
gas.
he texted me. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to like urgent care or something like that," and I was like, "You're a crazy person."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, well, after the whole day, I went through the whole day. It was like 5, and I was like, I still have this weird pain. The key thing about it was in a weird place.
Had it increased?
It had very slightly increased. It went from like a
Wow.
0.5 to a 1.
What?
So I went to urgent care, right? Feeling like an asshole, by the way. Feeling like I'm paranoid.
I can't believe you went to urgent care.
I told my coworkers and they were like, okay, like you're an idiot. And I was like, I'm an idiot. This is stupid. This is a waste of $70.
Oh,
So
okay. Continue.
go to the urgent care and I see this doctor and so she, her whole process is like, tell me the story. I almost feel like she's eye rolling, like not in a mean way, but just like, you're a fucking quack.
Right?
She then does a series of touches. She's going to touch me.
Yep.
First, I called Teledoc, by the way. I did the phone doctor. The phone doctor's like, well, I will get it checked out because I can't touch you to tell you if you're sick.
I mean, yeah. They
And,
always do
yeah.
that.
I mean,
She-
which is what's the
point?
liability? Like,
Yeah,
of
exactly.
course they're gonna send you somewhere.
Right, because they could get in trouble, you're saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know this area of the law, but like, I
Right.
imagine that you can't just tell people like, "Hey, no, yeah, that sounds like you have gas. Don't worry about it." Like,
right.
Yeah, probably.
So she literally goes through like 5 different motions, like touches my left chest, touches my right chest, left stomach, and then she finally gets to my right stomach, touches it, no pain, and then she's like, one more thing. I'm gonna press, and I'm gonna let go, and you're gonna tell me if it hurts on the press or the let go. And when she does that, I fucking jump out of the chair and I'm like sitting there like, I'm not sure if it was the press down or the let go. She's just like, it doesn't matter. You need to go to the ER, my friend.
Whoa. Hey.
First asshole is this woman comes in. They've already taken my blood. Everything's going fine. And she's like, I need to take your blood. I was like, oh, they already took my blood. Like, there's been a mistake. And she's like, no, I was sent in to take more blood. I'll send in your nurse to explain.
What?
So I'm like, I'm a piece of shit making people explain themselves. And she's like, they got to take more blood.
No, that's the point.
right. She's like, they got to take more blood because they could have taken the wrong blood or made a mistake or something.
Huh?
And I'm like, okay, maybe just don't make a mistake. I don't know.
Yeah, what? With my blood? Can you not?
Right? So then she takes blood out of my hand.
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
Really?
Yes, because I have really small veins and they can never get it in my arm. So actually, this happened to me last week when I was at my physical. This lady kept stabbing me in my arm, and then she like blamed me for it. She was like, "You gotta like open and close your hand really hard." I'm like, "Bitch, I'm doing that. This is a you problem. This is your job." So she did it in my hand. I told her that I'm like, honestly, sometimes they can't get it in my arm. They have to do it in my hand. Anyway, keep going.
Well, yeah, I thought it was out of vengeance. I thought she was like,
No,
this guy's
they
gonna
probably just
question
couldn't
me.
get a good vein.
So anyway,
No, he has tons of good veins. Like,
yeah, no,
he
I
got
do.
blood
Do you
taken out
think you have
later.
good veins? Because mine are very visible. You think they're good, but they're so thin
Yours
that
look
they're
thin.
useless.
No, but the same
You got
woman
thick
came in and
veins.
she did it from his like.
all right, so maybe it
elbow
was.
bend. Yeah, she
spiteful.
just
It
like.
was.
I
All
think
right.
it was straight up laziness.
Yeah, she
Okay,
got
maybe
me.
it was.
She got me good. So then they do imaging, and even the imaging woman. So then they're going to scan. They're going to do a CT scan. And even the imaging woman was kind of like, you sound like a quack. You
Oh
know?
shit.
Like she didn't say that.
Yeah,
But it was just like,
she was like,
You do sound
"Okay."
like a quack, though. You like were telling these people crazy things.
Yeah,
I
because
was.
usually when you go in for appendicitis, like first of all, I don't think I'd go to the doctor unless I was like dying because my health insurance sucks. But like, I feel like usually people wait until their pain is like excruciating before
Yeah.
they even think they have appendicitis.
yep.
Keep going.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
All right.
So basically, she then runs me through the CAT scan machine, and I'm like, I'm an asshole. This machine is basically going to reveal that I'm an idiot.
And
Go
I'm
back
sitting there like I'm in the ER with him, and I've like told work that I'm not available because I'm in the ER, and I'm like I'm gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah, I'm like, you
'Cause
better
they're gonna be
have
like, what happened with your
appendicitis."
boyfriend? And I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like so he has gas and is a dum dum.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for it. I'm like, this is $1,000. My hypochondria
Yep.
cost me at least $1,000. So next thing, I'm sitting in my hospital. By the way, it's freezing cold. It's like I'm so cold the whole time at this hospital.
I've heard that about
It's
hospitals.
terrible. And then a surgeon goes in and he goes, so I'm not like I forget what that is called. But he's like, I don't know how to read the images, but like, yeah,
Oh,
you
like a
have
radiologist or
appendicitis
whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I don't know what the images really mean, but yeah, you have appendicitis. Like, it doesn't take an expert, essentially.
Oh my
It's that
God.
obvious. So I was like, holy shit, I was right. And I'm like mad but happy at the same time in this weird thing.
Yeah.
But so the kicker here is like, because everyone was like, oh, appendicitis means lots of pain. So your appendicitis, by the way, I have a medium-sized appendicitis. I know.
Okay,
kind
your
of-
appendix. Appendix.
I have a
Appendicitis
medium-
is the
well, the
name of the infection
appendicitis-
of the appendix.
Well, the appendicitis itself is medium, but yes, I have a medium appendix.
Okay.
So thank you, ladies.
Cool flex.
A lot of people have tiny
You did.
appendi. I did. And they have them like tucked. And if they're tucked, like beneath your intestine or whatever, it has to burst or you won't feel it. Or like it has to get very bad for you to feel it.
Okay, yeah.
But my appendix it like points like a finger up into my guts and shit.
Ugh.
So I felt it like right away.
Wow.
Anyway,
Cool.
whatever. Like the hospital's cold and it sucks and it's horrible. It's like a freaking carousel of people coming in. Like, let me take your blood. Let me take your blood pressure. Like I can't sleep.
Let me
It's so
itemize the
miserable.
shit that you own at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh my
What?
god!
Oh, God.
Everything. Like you have a watch. You have contact lenses. You have a belt. You have something in your pockets. I'm
Why?
like, I don't give a fuck if I lose a quarter. So please.
Take it all.
No, and everyone has to do everything in like a 45-minute delay. So like the guy for the inventory comes in, then 45 minutes later, more blood is needed. Then 45 minutes later, this doctor shows up. So it's like you can just never fucking go to sleep.
Oh my God, that's so annoying. All right, but then you got your appendix taken out.
Well, yeah. So cut to the next. This is the worst person. This is the person I hated during the whole process. So then there's like people who wheel you everywhere, you know. So I'm getting wheeled to the surgery by the two wheelers. Like
All
that's
right.
their job.
Two wheelers.
They
Wow.
wheel you, these wheelers. And I'm like anxious as fuck. Like I'm kind of crying. Like Danny and I have acted like this whole time like I'm gonna die for sure. You know, like, both hypochondriacs. So one of the wheelers is like this like short like chipper man, short fat chipper guy,
Great.
and just paint a picture and white guy, and he's just like. Oh, your birthday's November. I'm being wheeled to surgery.
Yes.
He's like, your birthday's November 27th. My son's birthday's December 6th. Isn't that interesting? And I'm
No.
like, yeah, thank you, sir. Like faking it because I feel bad for him and I don't want to be like, you're a fucking idiot. I hate you.
That's
and I
a
hate your
completely
son.
different week, a different month. What are you even talking about, guy?
Right. I was like, this
That is like so comically stupid.
They were
sucks.
comically stupid. They were dumb and dumber. It was outrageous, these two people, and the way that they like navigated the hospital. Like everything was done in like the least efficient, dumbest way. Everything needed to be discussed. Like they couldn't just wheel the stupid bed with Danny in it around. They had to be like, so we're gonna turn this corner.
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
Like, it was just like, this is not complicated, guys. This is not the surgery.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then they took it out.
Yo, that shit's wild. I also can't believe they didn't let you take it home in a jar like in Rocco's Modern Life. That was my first question when Danny
Rip
told
off.
me. I know. You couldn't even look at it.
I didn't even look at it.
So sad.
They don't even take it out as like a full organ. They like suck it out of you.
Ugh.
The other thing I observed, and I think that, and I feel bad to our listeners because that story isn't the most interesting thing ever. and
It's interesting to me.
Well, it's filled with a lot of unnecessary details, but one thing that happens at the hospital that now I'm in like kind of the mindset of is everybody asks you for your story. So I've told all those details like 10 different times to 10 different
Yeah.
people. And at some point I'm just like, hey, can you guys maybe tell each other? Like maybe pass
Yeah.
it on, all right,
I know.
Joan?
Yeah. It's like when that's my mom's name, which is weird because I was going to say it's like when I tell my mom something and like I tell my mom like, oh, I'm going to Israel. And then my dad does not know. And I'm like, how do you guys not Like, this is like a lot. Like, it would be one thing if I was like, oh, I did X random thing at work today. But I'm like, why don't you guys tell each other when your kids are going out of the country? Do I really have to repeat this? You live together. Oh, Mom and Dad, love you.
All right. Well, we're on to the very disappointing episode. Disappointing for Sarah.
Oh, my God.
Starting off we've got AITA for asking a 47-year-old man who's dating my 22-year-old niece some pointed questions that made him uncomfortable.
Can't wait for that one.
That's juicy. But first, AITA for being upset over my boyfriend's proposal and engagement ring. By you, throwaway BBZ89. I'll start by saying we've been together for 3 years. We have a great relationship, and he's a wonderful father to our child. The proposal really came out of nowhere. I was in the bathroom getting ready to take our little one to daycare, which we were already running late for. My boyfriend walked in behind me and held a ring up in his hand and just said, "Will you marry me?" I honestly thought it was a joke, and the ring was simply a gift. I laughed, said yes, put the ring on, and left. When I got home and spoke to my boyfriend, I realized he actually did ask me to marry him. I would have said yes either way if it was a joke or not, but I was just left feeling a bit disappointed and empty, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of the ring either. It's big and chunky and uncomfortable to wear. It was meant to be sapphire to match my birthstone, he said, but he accidentally got the wrong color. It's not my style, and it doesn't suit me whatsoever. We've never looked at engagement rings together, so he wouldn't know what I like. I mentioned this to him and asked if he would mind if I bought a smaller ring with my own money to wear instead, but he got quite offended by that and called me ungrateful. He's been moody ever since. May I add that the ring he bought wasn't expensive, so it's not like he'd be wasting lots of money if I didn't wear it. Price doesn't matter to me. I wasn't expecting a grand gesture or a huge proposal, but a little effort would have been nice, not just asking me in the damn bathroom. It's meant to be a special moment in memory, and it's just not. AITA for being upset over this.
Okay, I have a lot of bones to pick with this.
Holy shit.
So many. I think I should start with the easiest one. The ring. He accidentally got the wrong color. Sapphire is a color, you fucking idiot. That's like getting an emerald, trying to get an emerald and being like, oh, I got a red ring by mistake. The color is the name. How do you fuck that up?
It's just also lazy. I mean, it's so easy to figure that out.
Like, yes, we have Google on our phones all the time. There's no excuse. You don't accidentally get the wrong color. Like, you have to order a ring, or you're at the store picking it out. There's somebody helping you.
Right. Wait, so there's only one color of sapphire? I don't know.
Sapphire is like blue. Like, that's
and emeralds are
thing.
green?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sonic the Hedgehog team.
Like, that is the thing with ruby red. Like, the reason these colors are linked to these gemstones.
Red.
You know what you feel me? So
grapefruit, big fan.
there we go.
So I mean, one thing that I'm alarmed by, and I'm wondering, because I feel like you're in a lot of groups and we always talk about crazy bridezillas, but this is almost the opposite. She's like, I don't know, should I feel bad? I don't know. Is it okay if I have a single expectation? I don't know.
Well, this happens to women like all the time. Sorry, I'm like going in on the feminism, but the person on Reddit also like alluded to this top comment. And he's like, it's like anytime a woman has like some expectation of like the smallest bit of effort, people will call her like crazy, bridezilla, demanding, ungrateful, as is happening here.
I mean, isn't this part of the culture that you're kind of encouraging in your little bridezilla group, Sarah?
No, because those people are actually bridezillas.
I don't know though. I don't feel like necessarily in every couple this would not be a nice proposal. Like, I think it depends on what your relationship is like and how things are and how casual you want this to be and how much this is like a thing that you've talked about already and you've already kind of decided and you just wanted to like kind of paper it as we are now getting married and we are now engaged. But I don't know, my dad's proposal to my mom was like incredibly simple, but for them and where they were in their relationship, it was like extremely romantic.
Okay, I don't have an issue with like simple proposals, doing it at home. This to me though is like the wrong time. She's distracted. She's trying to get her kid out the door. Like, they're late. Even like if you were to have a serious like conversation with your significant other, like conventional wisdom would tell you not to do it in these circumstances. You should wait until they're not busy and they're in a good mood.
Of course.
Like, you wouldn't even ask someone, like, I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't even bring up like a casual problem with someone in this instance, but you think it's good to be like, will you marry me?
But I'm thinking this guy's, you know, they have a child already. They have like a very established life.
It's her child.
Does she say that distinctly, that it's her child as opposed to their child?
Well, he's a wonderful father to our child. but,
Okay, so they have a kid
so they do have
together.
a kid.
So they have a kid together. Their life is a little bit unconventional already. She's getting the child ready in the morning. Maybe he's had this ring for a while, been looking for a time, and he's looking at her like get the child ready for school and thinking like, I love this person. Oh my God, this person is such a wonderful mother, and look at this amazing life we've built together already. And this is the moment. Like, this is the moment where I feel compelled to ask this
Right.
question.
I
I've been
guess
dying
I would
to
have
ask.
to ask why. Like, to me, this screams like zero empathy and also laziness because, like, she's busy, she's frazzled right now. That's the moment that you really have to do this right now.
Okay, I think I have a way where everyone can be right. I think, Danny, you are right in the sense of like, look, with certain people this would fly, right? Like I can imagine this story written like, it was so sweet. I was preparing my son and then he just came in and it was just right. Like, right, like I can imagine that world. I'm saying it's plausible, Sarah.
Okay,
I'm saying it's plausible.
Whatever, yeah.
It could happen, maybe rarely, right? But even if that's true, I don't think that makes her emotions wrong. Like, and I've said this before, and you can come at me, ladies. Weddings are for women, and women like weddings, and women like all this shit. And that doesn't make him wrong. I just think he should redo the shit if she didn't like
but
it.
I think when you also factor in the fact that he like got the wrong ring, it's not her style. It's
That's
not the
true.
birthstone they
No,
talked
you're
about.
right,
Like
you're right.
this whole thing just screams like laziness to me. And now he wants to turn back around and gaslight her.
Absolutely.
When it's like, no, you clearly like fucked this up and put in no effort. And now
Yes.
I'm projecting a lot, but I'm like, I really have to wonder if this comes up in like other aspects of their relationship too. Like, is he always this like kind of lazy and then makes her feel bad for wanting more?
I don't know if I agree with lazy. I'm gonna go with thoughtless.
Okay,
for
thoughtless.
sure.
Yeah,
He
thoughtless
botched-
is yes.
He botched the ask. Okay, I don't think there's any way around that. Even if you're like, I want a simple thing, he botched the ask because he got the wrong freaking ring, and now he's doubling down on having botched it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think he's just hurt. I mean, I'm not saying that this guy isn't wrong and that he didn't botch it. I mean, he definitely botched it with the ring. I think the proposal could fly in certain scenarios. But then I think that this guy, like, think about it. You spend a couple $1,000s buying me a ring.
Yeah.
You propose in a moment that you feel is romantic and you feel like is symbolic and meaningful for us. I think that it's not grand enough. I think that the ring doesn't work. You thought it was kind of cute that the ring was like, not exactly my birthstone, but the color is something I wear. I don't know.
I
like,
know you.
You can
and I
rationalize
know
all
those,
these things.
all these would be massive errors. Everything.
I mean, she's not even mad that it's not a grand gesture. She says I wasn't expecting a grand gesture.
Ah.
And that's the problem with this too. It's like, again, people are like, I don't like that my boyfriend proposed to me in the bathroom, and all the comments are like, oh, well, you shouldn't expect a fairy tale proposal. And it's like, no, that's not what she's saying at all. Like, even like on the couch while you're watching TV, I think is a better moment to ask someone to marry you than when you're in the fucking bathroom.
Absolutely. Jeremy S. says, YTA, if price doesn't matter, why should the location and circumstance?
Really?
I'm already angry.
See?
If he was as serious as you say and you want to marry him, stop the incessant bitching and be happy together.
Yeah, this is fucking
shut the
gross.
fuck
Like,
up.
honestly, half the comments, I'm like, oh, you guys just don't like women. Okay, just don't marry one then.
Or have no concept of a relationship as
Yeah.
well. It's like, no, you are allowed to complain to your partner and state your wants. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, why is this such a black box where it's like, he doesn't know what she wants, she doesn't know what she wants? Like, why haven't they talked about it?
Yeah, that's
like,
a good point. If they've been dating for 3 years.
it's like, have the conversation. Michelle
Ugh.
L. NTA about the quick bathroom proposal at all. YTA about the ring, though. It's supposed to be what he chose for you. Try picturing him at a jewelry store looking at tons of rings and thinking he found a beautiful ring for you. When my husband buys me presents, one of the best parts for me still is picturing him shopping and choosing something for me, and we've been married since 1995.
I
That's
also
great for you.
Weird,
like,
yeah,
I
weird
mean,
flex, right?
Yeah.
That's like some people can manage that. Some people want to be given gifts that way. Like a ring, an engagement ring is something you wear like every day until
Yes.
you die. So I
Yes.
think that you're allowed to have a conversation and say like, this wasn't for me. I think you have to handle it delicately because obviously this person put effort, maybe not this person. But
Yeah,
generally,
in general.
they put in effort. And if you didn't set expectations ahead of time, like you're gonna probably end up having that hard conversation.
And they
But
did set
it's still
those
a conversation worth
expectations.
having.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
fucking, oh God, I'm like so angry already. But like, I can't believe this. Yeah, like you said, you're wearing it every day of your life. and to act like, again, you want to actually like looking at something you have to wear on your fucking hand every day for the rest of your life is outrageous. Like, how does that make you an asshole? I hate this shit.
Like, I mean, I bought Danny a striped shirt and he's been like, I fucking hate that shirt. I'm not going to wear that, right? Like, if you can have that reaction to a shirt, I get to have, like, women get to have a reaction to a ring they're supposed to wear every day.
Right.
Like,
and I feel like there's this like constant gaslighting of people being like, there was this one famous Reddit thread where this woman was like, I don't really like the ring. Like, and people were slamming her, calling her an asshole. Then she posted a picture of the ring. I need to send this to you guys or put it on the group. It was like an amber ring that was brown, that was giant and heart-shaped, and literally looked like something you would buy, like fake costume jewelry that you'd get from a vending machine. And that was her engagement ring. And people initially were calling her an asshole because she did not love that and want to wear it every day for her life.
Oh, God.
It's also like, it's one thing if it's a purchased ring that can be returned. It's another thing if it's like a family heirloom. Like, there's no evidence here that this is like, oh, like he inherited this.
No.
And so it's not right. Like,
No,
it
he just
seems like
bought
he clearly went to a store
dumbass ring
and bought a ring, like, and got it with the wrong gemstone. So I do think there are two parts to the story. I think there's like the proposal and there's the ring. I think the ring was a complete botch on the part of the boyfriend / fiance because they are engaged.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, look, I also don't buy, like, I don't know, how many special things are there in life? I feel like women love weddings, and I know that plays a little sexist. I get it. There's men that like weddings too, whatever. But, you know, it should be a special thing, God damn it, right?
I know. I'm tired of this, like, constant gaslighting of, like, specifically women who just, you're not asking for a lot. Like, really, it's like your proposal, your wedding. Like, these are few special moments in your life. How hard is it to put in some fucking effort? Just like one time.
One time. And that's the other thing about them is they are one-time events.
Yeah.
And actually, we just did this. Danny passed the bar, which is a test they give to lawyers.
Wait,
and
did you just pass the bar?
No, I passed the bar a year
That's
ago.
what I thought.
So
Okay.
I botched the celebration.
Oh, no.
I took her to a place called tiramisu. I know it sounds good. Who doesn't like tiramisu?
It sounds good. What happened?
It was terrible.
Oh, no.
It was just like a mediocre restaurant. We went to like in sweatpants. Like, it was just like not a celebratory type of event.
Oh, bummer.
And it came up in a few fights. You know, Danny's really good at fighting. So finally, we were like, hey, let's just redo it. And we redid the night. And now the memory of tiramisu is erased and covered with Tavern on the Green, which is a
wonderful
restaurant. in
Okay,
Central
that's
Park.
great. But then when Danny was like, hey, I didn't love this thing, were you moody about it and you made her feel bad for days? Or you were like, all right, I get it. And
he
you
was
redid it?
defensive about it.
I was.
He was
Okay.
defensive about it. I think
own
it's
it.
hard. It's like, it's hard to think that the way that you went about something was not right and didn't create the reaction that you wanted in the other person. But
Okay.
eventually we got there.
Okay, eventually, yeah. I
think this
get being defensive initially, but then like if this guy doesn't come around, then he's an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also like, you know, with like Danny's career and stuff, I've had to internalize, like, look, there's a lot of little milestones. Like, she graduated school and like, or she like finished finals. She graduated school. She took the bar. She finished studying for the bar.
No, we did not celebrate
But
finishing.
we kind of, you know, like, all these little things are like big days, you know, and so I had to accept.
Well, now I won't have one until I do or do not make partner.
Right,
so,
right.
you know, we got a good 10 years.
So, you know, it's learning what matters to the other person. But I think we can all agree it's a universal thing that a wedding and a proposal, they're one-off, so freaking nail it, dog.
Right.
Enza M writes, NTA, I understand you wanting the moment to be special, and really everyone knows that it's supposed to be. Seems like the boyfriend doesn't know you as well as he should. Didn't ask your opinion on rings? Wrong stone, no effort.
Boom.
It's pretty well put.
This one I just included for fun, aka Rage
This one
Factor.
hurts. I'm already angry.
Yes.
Good Lord, Sarah. Aurora E writes, and also maybe don't be named after the Antarctic. Anyway, YTA, I was proposed to while in the middle of plunging the toilet. God damn it. And he had my son call me into the bedroom for an accident he made. At the time, I was shocked and didn't even know what to say. I was always going to say yes. We laugh about it now and how everything came to be. It's a moment I'll never forget. We are getting married Saturday. And about the ring, well, you are a little asshole. You don't know what he thought when he bought it or how much money he wanted to spend. People do with what they can at the time.
She said it's not about the money. She said price doesn't matter. I hate this shit.
Embrace it and maybe discuss and get something different on anniversary. Just the fact that he's a great father and partner and proposed on a whim seems like he's a decent enough guy to me. Be happy with that.
No, the bar is so fucking low.
Jeez.
I can't even deal with it. The bar is like underground for men. Like, oh, you should be happy that someone just proposed to you. Like, that's it.
It's crazy.
That's what she's saying. And I texted Danny. I was like, I can't with these fucking, like, there's a phrase on Facebook I've heard / the internet, just like these pick me ass bitches, which is like kind of like if you read Gone Girl, where she talks about being the cool girl, how you have to like suppress all your desires and preferences to act cool. Like that's what pick me ass bitches are. They act like so performative about how chill they are. And
I get it now.
it's like because they want the men to pick them, you see?
Right.
And it's
right.
so frustrating and annoying.
So the kind of girls that are like, I love football, and they're like playing
Not
it up,
even-
and it's like, you don't really love football.
I mean, kind of, but
Yeah.
not even that. But it's like, oh, well, my boyfriend proposed to me with like a ring that was just a paperclip. And like, I was totally
Right.
fine with it. And so you should be too.
My boyfriend farted in my face and said, marry me, bitch. And
Yeah.
I liked it. So.
Exactly. I fucking hate this shit.
It's
So
also like you're allowed to do that. This is a very personal thing. Like you can have whatever be your proposal story if that's what you're comfortable with. But if you're not, like if I don't want to look back on passing the bar and be at tiramisu, I want to be at Tavern on the Green. Like
Right.
that's a thing I am allowed
Yeah.
to talk to my partner about.
And it doesn't
we're
make
allowed
you
to
an
workshop
asshole.
together and
Oh, well,
fix.
my boyfriend celebrated when I passed the bar by taking me to McDonald's and it was fine. So you're an asshole. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like people like, you can be chill and have low standards when you want, but that doesn't mean those are the standards.
Yeah. Ugh. Okay.
Well, I think we all agree and we're all worked up.
Wait, can we
now.
just read the top Reddit comment?
Oh,
Because it's
yeah.
a
Oh,
moment
I
of
missed that.
sanity that we all need.
Coastal Shelves getting the top Reddit comment. NTA, I'm getting pretty fucking fed up with the notion that women should be just delighted with. Sarah, did you just put your own comment here?
Ha!
I'm getting
wish.
fed up with the notion that women should just be delighted with whatever low effort, borderline insulting proposal, gift / anniversary a guy has planned. You are allowed to be disappointed. You are not being entitled. He got you the wrong thing and gave it to you at the wrong time. That sucks.
Thank you, Reddit, for some freaking sanity.
That's pretty cut and dry, simple, good way to put it.
Danny has something to say.
But does it make him, for the proposal piece, does it make him the asshole? Like in terms of the not the asshole lingo where the other guy becomes the asshole that he proposed in the wrong way?
Yeah.
Like-
So someone like emailed us and they're basically like, it's not about being an asshole. It's like, who was wrong?
Right.
So I definitely think that the fiance was wrong.
The proposer.
Yeah. I think he was
in
wrong.
terms of his proposal?
Yes, he botched
yeah,
the
just all of
ask.
it. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't make you a bad person. Like, that's not what being an asshole is about. The asshole is about. It's just like, you fucked up in this situation.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
He
Okay,
might be
I'll
a
give
great
you the
guy.
proposal that was like a botch plus the ring,
ring.
that was clearly
Yeah.
an
Massive
error,
botch.
an avoidable error that he was in the wrong.
So AITA, the question though is she the asshole, AITA, for being upset over my boyfriend's proposal and engagement ring? I think we do all agree, not the asshole, and the other person is?
We agree.
Agreed.
AITA, for asking a 47-year-old man who is dating my 22-year-old niece some pointed questions that made him, quote unquote, uncomfortable by you, Marty100. Some context. I live in California, and my wife's niece wanted to come visit us for a few weeks. She's 22. I've known her since she was 4. Her dad walked out on her family when she was 8. She's very sheltered by her mother. Anyway, I told my wife it was fine with me if she visits. She's a good kid, and our 5-year-old son loves his cousin and really wanted to see her. But then my wife goes, and your niece, she wants to bring her boyfriend. He's 47. I'm 41. My wife is 42. I was like, you're kidding, right? She was not. At first, I was like, hell no. But after about a week of talking, I gave in with one caveat. I told my wife that if this dude is staying in our house, I'm going to ask some questions he might not like. She wanted to know what kind of questions, and I gave her some. How did you guys meet, and who made the first move? If the dude made the first move, it's weird. Has the dude been married? Does he have kids? Why are you, the dude, dating such a young woman? Are you, the dude, aware of the young woman's history with her father? What's the end game here? A serious relationship? Marriage? Have you, the dude, discussed what will happen if the young woman gets pregnant? I know I'm not the girl's father, but no one else in her family is asking these questions. Her mother's fine with the relationship, which boggles my mind. Fast forward to the visit. Niece and old dude show up. I'm cordial. I wait till evening after everything is settled and dinner is over, and I invite the dude to join me on the porch for a beer, just me and him. Then I start asking my questions. After only my second question, the guy starts getting defensive. He told me this is, quote, none of my business. I got a little pissed at that. I told him he's staying in my home for a week. I can ask him a few questions. And the girl is my niece. I'm not out of bounds here. He told me I was making him quote unquote uncomfortable. I replied that I'm uncomfortable having a dude who's clearly taking advantage of a young girl stay in my home. I said, you can answer my questions and act like you're a stand-up guy, or feel free to hit the effing road. Well, he left. My wife and niece were upset with me. They said I acted like a jerk and that if my niece is happy to let it go. Again, I was told it's none of my business. They've since broken up, which I'm glad about. Not sure if my actions were the cause. So am I an asshole for questioning this guy?
Oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start. There's a 25-year age difference here.
Yeah.
Is that the math? Wow. That's
And
so big.
that is one thing if you're like in your 30s, but I just think about the person I was at 22, and I was like a fucking immature idiot. I mean, still am. But like even now at 28, I would not date a 22-year-old because they're idiots.
Oh my God.
How can you imagine being 47 and being able to relate to a 22-year-old?
You
Like
can't.
it's fucked up.
How can you relate?
You can't.
You've seen like wars and shit.
Right?
Also, your
I
whole
don't even
timeline is different. Like your whole
Yeah.
trajectory of life, like,
Yep.
what you're looking to do, and on what, like in what order and with what urgency is so different. Like,
Absolutely.
she can't live a normal life with this guy.
I think it's so suspect that he's 40 freaking 7. He's older than the aunt and the uncle, and he's dating someone who's 22. Like, I think that's incredibly suspect.
I dated a guy 7 years older than me for a year, and like by the end of that, when I was like 20 or 21, and like by the end of that, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
that is kind of
Like-
crazy because you're in college. You like are you can maybe drink legally, like maybe not. Depend like
Yeah, like they can't be a
it's-
part of your life. Like,
Yeah.
you're in such different places. Like this
Yeah.
22-year-old, maybe she just graduated from college.
yeah, at best.
Right. And then you think about social circles too. I mean, if I was hanging out with my, my friends who are 30 and they roll up with their girlfriend and they're 20, I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, like, what is that?
Yeah,
That's-
and
I
this
don't want her
dude
here.
is like could be her dad.
Yeah. Now, listen, I know we're coming hard for this guy, and I feel like I have lost arguments before because I think I'm going to rest on a much more easy version of this and say that it's weird. It's weird.
Definitely weird.
Not inherently wrong. I backed off that in the past. My big point with this is going to be, look, if you're a 47-year-old dating a 20-year-old, maybe you love each other, okay? Maybe she's a prodigy. Maybe she makes beautiful music, makes your heart sing like a butterfly. Though, most of us are going to think you just want to fuck her. That's what most of us are going to think.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
said, yeah.
it's just the issue of like, how could you possibly be able to relate to a 22-year-old?
Well, I think it's possible. Implausible, yes. But
then I think it
possible.
speaks to like your maturity level
Well,
in
yeah.
a bad
Well,
way.
He might be immature.
Well,
He might be
like
immature.
2.5 decades immature.
But where I was going to go with this, like, if you're going to do this weird thing, if you're going to unconventionally do this, then you should be ready to answer questions like this
Yeah.
because that's what people are thinking.
Right. Also, except from the daddy issues question, like this is all pretty softball stuff.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like the dad. That's a good point. What was that daddy issues?
Like
question?
that
get to
was
that
a
one,
weird
though.
one. Yeah, he didn't get to that
Are
one.
you, the dude, aware of the young woman's history with her father?
I
Why is
guess what
that?
he's trying to get out is like, okay, maybe this girl has like some issue with like male figures, and he, the adult, should be like going into this with eyes wide open, kind of, but also like she should tell him. Like it's not on the uncle to be like, are you aware that she might have daddy issues? But all the other questions
Yeah.
are fair, and like my dad would probably ask worse questions of like someone I was dating, even if they were my
Of
age.
course.
I mean, like this is par for the course.
Danny's comedian friends are a little bit monstrous, and they ask like pressing questions about anything all the time. 'Cause
Right.
They think it's funny or interesting, and like they're mining for material at all points.
Or
so
you're
like
just, yeah.
you expect to go to a family member's house, have a 25-year age gap, stay with them, and not be asked a single pointed question.
Yeah,
Like,
also that's so weird. He's older than the aunt and uncle. He's staying in their house for free. Like,
so weird.
dude, do you have a job?
Yeah, get a hotel. You're 47.
Yeah, why are you freeloading off this like child's parents?
Yeah, and I think that is, and now that I look at the questions again too, I'm like, these are actually pretty normal questions that I would ask like my brother's girl. Like if my brother had
Yeah.
a girlfriend, I'd be like, how'd you guys meet? Who made the first move? Like we're
That's normal.
that's so
literally, we
boring.
just went to dinner with his brother and his brother's new girlfriend, and we're like, "How'd you guys meet?
yeah.
Like,
That's so
give
normal.
us your story. Give us the history. How did this become a thing?"
I
Also, I
guess-
do want to know in what situation a 47-year-old and a 22-year-old are like meeting and consider it in a romantic context, you know?
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, it can happen in lots of ways, but mainly it probably happened in a really
work?
gross way. Like I
Yeah.
was getting my hair done by someone recently, and she was telling me about her boyfriend who's like who was like 20 years older than her, and she was like, yeah, so I grew up around him because it was like my friend's stepdad. And I was like, that's yeah, like you're just doing my hair, so I'm not gonna interject here, but like no, like you should not. She's like, we've been together for 5 years, and I'm like, that's great that you've been together.
How
for a
old
long
is
time.
she now? Sorry, I need.
She's like, I think 23 or something.
So you were groomed by your friend's stepdad. Oh.
Yeah. And like that's just incorrect. And like that seems like the only way that this can happen is something that's gross like that.
Such a yikes.
Don S. writes, YTA, it's none of your effing business unless your cousin chooses to make it your business or the man does something abusive.
Your cousin did choose. She's staying with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a very good point.
She
now.
chose to make it your business.
She brought the chicken into the coop.
That's
you know
so
what I
true.
mean?
Yeah, I also really resent that it's like not your family's job to step in unless your loved one is being abused or doing something illegal. Like that's just plain wrong. You should look out for people even before it gets to like a very critical point.
Well,
it's so much harder to leave
just to counter that a little bit, let me just try to fight you guys with this.
Okay.
This is just him, a man, trying to control women. She's 22. She has a right to date who she wants, Sarah.
He does. He's not trying to control. He's just trying to probe. And I think that's fair to just try to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, but he's
not saying you can't.
It was an interrogation.
So?
She wasn't there. She made the guy uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, but he's really manipulating him, right? And that's affecting her life and her behavior. He's trying to control women in a sense, right?
I mean, I think he's trying to control a child or a family member. And I think that can obviously be destructive. Like there should be limits to family. But like I think for all the reasons we've talked about already, this is a situation where you want your family member to step in and be a little bit
Guys, he's not trying to control. He's not. First of all, he let him stay in the house. He's not saying you can't date him. He's not saying you can't bring him around.
But
it reminds me of like that situation where the guy like cheated on the guy's sister and like the OP kind of called him an asshole and the guy ran away. Like this kind of reminds me of that too, because the fact that this guy ran away immediately is also kind of indicative to me.
Tells the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's not the uncle's fault. I don't think the uncle's trying to control anything. He's just trying to get like kind of suss out what's going on here.
Well, I mean, I don't totally agree with that because I think if like she was 35 dating a 47-year-old or whatever, 31, it's still a little weird.
Even
right?
like 25 or like 27, I think would even be a little bit
it's
more.
A little backhanded and weird. I think there would be a place where it would be inappropriate. I think age is a factor. And I've said this before, like a 25-year-old man is essentially a boy a lot of the time. And and like we were just saying, like a 22-year-old's fresh out of college. Like they just started. Like they just started adulting, if I may.
Right. It's not even necessarily age. It's just like life experience.
Yeah. Brittany S. writes, YTA, your niece is an adult, a consenting one at that. 22 is old enough to make her own choices in dating.
Sure, but you could be making bad choices.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like, okay, so she can legally have sex with this guy and he can legally ask him questions.
Right. This is not, am I doing something illegal? Like, that's not the point of this.
IVE says YTA. Wow, a lot of YTAs. Maybe she just
this is the theme of the episode. I'm like, are you guys serious?
Shocking.
And it's all women.
Maybe she just wanted a mature man to date. Oh boy. A lot of men in their 20s are still teenagers in mentality. You should have spoken with her and allowed her to voice why she was with him if you were so concerned.
I don't disagree that he should have spoken to the niece, but also I think when you're 22 dating a 47-year-old, you probably think you're really cool and mature, and you would just get a kind of response like, oh, you don't understand, you know?
It also would have felt more like an attack. I feel like what this guy described is they had dinner, it was all cool, they got some beers, they went out back, they're sitting, they're chatting, they chat about Star Wars or whatever, and then suddenly he's like, oh, like, so how'd you meet my niece? Like, tell me the story. You know, like, I felt like this seemed pretty chill.
Yeah, you're
like,
right.
not an interrogation, whereas if he had spoken to the niece, it would have felt a lot more aggressive. This felt like a very mild approach to getting at these issues that was clearly, like, overreacted to because this guy was guilty of something.
Right. So and also because I, like, totally agree with what you're saying because the boyfriend and the uncle are peers. Like, it's appropriate, I think, to do that.
That's well put. Yeah, I guess so. My question for you guys: would it have been kinder to the niece had the 42-year-old guy like been like, "Hey, just so you know, niece, if you bring this guy into my house, like I'm gonna ask some questions you may not like." Would that have been more fair?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what their relationship is. Like, I would expect that with anyone that I bring home with my family. You know.
Was literally about to say that. Like the disclaimer, I would have to give that disclaimer at all times to everyone. Like, my family is just gonna get in your shit.
But I
Like,
also feel
that's-
like that's like, don't most people kind of know that? Like, this is a common, like, this is a dating stereotype. Like, people know this. Like, your family's obviously going to ask questions to get to know you.
yeah, unless they just have no interest, like my family with Danny.
Ouch.
Ouchie. I'm telling you, people, it's a
You
real
can cut
thing.
that. You can cut that.
No, we're not cutting. Those are unedited. I'm not doing a bunch of work to protect your family. Listen, Meg P writes, 22 is old enough to know what you want in a partner. You
Is
don't
it?
respect women and their choices. Oh my God, Sarah, somebody really said that.
That I know. That's why I included that.
Oh no.
I hate this.
Nicole F. NTA. Thank God, someone.
I know.
We really have to watch out for each other, especially the ones we love. I see no disrespect here, and we should all be able to answer these questions. I think that's very fair.
Yeah,
I
I
love
just
this
included
person.
a couple other NTAs just to give you guys some sanity, but we don't have to read them all if it's too much.
Yeah, well, no, people are, lady also saying, why can't he put himself up in a hotel room? Very valid.
Yeah, valid point. And we'll find out why, because there was a juicy update.
Yes. First, we'll read the top Reddit comment real quick by Giovanni's Guillotine. One of my favorite.
it.
That might be the best of all time. I love it. NTA, yes, she's an adult. Yes, she can do what she wants, but she clearly has daddy issues. Oh, okay. And the
too
guy's
much.
taking advantage of that vulnerability. With an age gap like this, it's hard for there not to be a power imbalance, which can be hard for someone at 22 with little experience with relationships and adult life, as it's all pretty new. Asking some pointed questions while the man was staying in your house seems fair enough to me, as long as you weren't being too accusatory. That it quickly became defensive may be telling.
I think this guy went too hard with the daddy issues and the vulnerability thing. Like, he might not be a predator, but I do agree with the power imbalance comment.
Yeah, this guy could use some editing to the comment, but in general, it's
Yeah, I agree with
correct.
the sentiment.
I mean, I'm kind of curious, where do we land on daddy issues? So the concept of daddy issues is like your dad is shitty, and so therefore you pursue dad-like figures. Is that
Correct.
kind of the idea?
Because you are seeking approval from like an older male figure because you didn't get it from your own father.
Oh, interesting. And I mean, I guess it's kind of a thing. Is there any science here?
I mean, I don't know, like Oedipus complex or whatever. Electra complex, which one?
Oh, the Electra complex? What's the Electra complex? I thought Oedipus was you want to
With
kill
your-
your father and marry your mother.
Yeah, so Electra complex is the same, but for women.
Interesting. You want to kill your father,
Kill your mother.
kill your mother.
It's basically
Marry
like
your
you want to
father.
fuck your mom, you want to fuck your dad.
Whoo,
I don't
boy.
know. I mean, I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, look, I mean, I've seen it before. I've seen it before. Daddy issues.
Yeah.
You hear about it. Daddy issues are strippers. There's all these kind of concepts. They ring true. I'm just being honest. They are stereotypes. Is all.
Yeah,
it
I
is.
mean, there's truth to like every stereotype. You know, like some people will fit any stereotype.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just wondering. I mean, look, I think we talked about this before. Like, yeah, who wouldn't want to date an older man? I would if I was into that shit. That'd be great. He's like rich and shit and all established.
Well,
in his
clearly this
career.
guy isn't rich. Or
Yeah,
Not
right?
This guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy sounds like he's shit. Yeah, if he was 47 and they were balling out in the Four Seasons, then you'd be like, well, sure. I mean, she's just playing
Yeah.
the game.
I'm so proud you know what the Four Seasons is. I've taught you well.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've taught me a lot. All right. Mainly taught me what zero looks like in my checking account. All right, people. So this post got updated. Oh, boy.
Woo!
It was edited. Some of you wondered if I would accept any of the dude's answers to my questions. Of course, all he had to be was respectful and honest in answering, and I wouldn't have a problem. Talked to my niece this morning. She and I are totally fine. Knew my actions came from wanting to keep her safe. I apologize regardless. Asked why they broke up. The guy
Here
was
we go.
actually cheating on his wife. He confessed it to her and said he would get a divorce for her. He has 3 kids, all her age or older.
Her age or older. Ah!
She dumped
Also,
him.
if you trace it back, after the second question is when the guy started getting defensive. The second question was, have you been married? Do you have kids?
Wow, nice backtrace.
Thank you.
Freaking CSI over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I feel really good about going through this because I do sometimes feel like I'm ageist and I'm like a 35-year-old man with a 25-year-old, he's a pervert. And it's like, not necessarily. There could be good reasons, but I think these people should expect questions.
Yeah, I also would feel the same way if the genders were reversed. It's like, it's not
Absolutely.
age, it's like life experience again.
It's odd.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it okay if you're a little odd to answer a few questions? I'm a little odd. People are
Yeah.
like, why do you talk with these weird inflections? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a personality, so I just oversell nothing. I think we all agree. No questions here. AITA for asking a 47-year-old man who's dating my 22-year-old niece some questions. We all agree. NTA and the other person is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an overreaction, so we get to say that the boyfriend's not wrong.
Oh yeah.
Or the ex-boyfriend. Thank God.
Thank God.
All right, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, listener submissions. Brought to you by Nabisco. I don't know why I said that. There's no sponsorship on the show. We lose money.
Hey, I'm a sponsor.
Oh, we do. There is
True.
sponsor. Brought to you
Sponsored by Danny.
AITA for denying my SIL, which is sister-in-law. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sister-in-law's request. Don't give me those eyes like I'm an idiot, Sarah. For denying my sister-in-law's request to get my family flu shots before visiting her 1-year-old.
I love this one.
Yeah. Oh
Can't
boy.
believe
I'm
this one.
so excited.
My husband and I will be visiting family for Thanksgiving, along with our 2 children, ages 11 and 13. My sister-in-law just had her first child at age 40, and he will be turning 1 the week we are visiting. We are not staying with them and will only see them on Thanksgiving at my in-laws. My sister-in-law sends a text to her brother, my hubs. My husband is what hubs means?
Yeah.
Yes.
My hubs.
It's an abbrev.
I know.
It's
He's
okay.
so
Continue
confused by
on.
these. Danny loves to make up abbreviations, but he gets confused
like
when other people
hubs.
do it.
Well, that's like saying with. Like, it doesn't really go. You're like, wife?
Wife
With.
is
I've heard
shorter.
hubs like
Okay.
hubby,
Hubby, yeah.
and then you
right.
just go to hubs.
My sister-in-law sent a text to her brother, my hubs, requesting that we all get flu shots before our visit to protect her child. We both feel her request is preposterous. My children are vaccinated and we are a healthy family, but we just don't believe in the flu shot. I understand that the flu can attack anyone, and I would never put anyone in a situation to pass something along if we were feeling under the weather. I understand that she's a new mom and trying to protect her child, but I don't think I should have to inject my family with something I don't feel they need. The flu shot last year was proven only 25% effective, but mostly I just feel her request is inappropriate. AITA for ignoring her request.
Wow. I don't even.
So my opinion has changed
Ooh.
since I wrote
Wow.
about this on the Facebook group, because apparently the science has changed. So it
Okay.
used to be that because the flu shot is developed every year, unlike vaccines that are, like used again and again.
Yeah.
We have tons of science on it. Some doctors said, like, if you're perfectly healthy and you're not going to be exposed to like people who are particularly vulnerable, you're not in the healthcare profession, you don't need to get the flu shot.
But a 1-week-old baby is particularly vulnerable, wouldn't you say?
Yes, a 1-week-old baby is particularly vulnerable, but it would be up to you whether you care enough to like have that interaction on that one day to do it, right? Like their family doesn't have an infant. It would be this one interaction. So like
Right.
it would be their choice. But science has developed. And so now like the saying is everyone should just get the flu shot. We're good enough at this. Like there really isn't a risk. If you're perfectly healthy, no matter what you do, no matter what your exposure will be, get the flu shot.
Yeah, I mean, I got my flu shot yesterday. Like,
Oh,
I don't know.
really?
Yeah.
I turned it down at the hospital.
Well, you shouldn't have gotten it because you were about to get surgery. Like,
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, this is a nuanced one. I'm kind of happy we're on like vaccines that aren't so like polarizing. This is kind of a subtle
This is
one.
this is a very different type of vaccine.
I mean, it's like you're not the asshole for not getting a flu shot one year. Like, this is the first time I've gotten one in recent memory.
Yeah.
But but she's specifically asking for you to hang out with her 1-week-old baby to get the flu shot. It's like non-invasive. It's free. Like, why would you not?
I would say it is invasive, isn't it?
No, it took 1
What's
second.
considered invasive?
I would
mean,
say
it's like
invasive.
a shot. You
It's
don't
it's
have
a
to.
shot.
They don't have to get it into your veins. It's just in your arm. Like it's in your muscle. It's not.
Oh, it's in
It's-
your muscle?
Yeah.
It's a shot, and it's a shot that can have adverse consequences. Like I'm planning to get the flu shot, but I'm going to get it on like a Friday so that it doesn't interrupt my work week. I think that, you can say it's somewhat invasive, but I think you can also say like this person has a baby, like an
Yeah.
infant, and you're going to spend time together. And the science is now saying that like everyone should get this regardless. So go ahead and sign your family up. Go on a Friday afternoon and
Like,
that's it. Or
it's
like do it in a
free.
rotation so that you and your husband don't feel like slightly under weather at the same time. But like
Yeah,
she
but
also give
that's
you a
also
huge heads
not
up.
guaranteed to happen. You might
Yeah.
feel flu-like symptoms, but most people don't, and usually your arm just hurts. And also, even if you feel the symptoms, you don't actually get the flu. Anyways,
So I think there's going to be some disagreement on the reality of this. Though I feel like what you're saying sounds very valid to me, Danny. But I think another kind of question here, which is more etiquette driven, which is this request inappropriate? And that just
No.
seems flat wrong.
I don't think it's inappropriate at all. You think it's wrong?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's inappropriate at all. It's like it's a baby. You got to be concerned about the baby's health because babies die. So it's so
This
easy
is
to
literally,
kill a
yeah, this
baby.
is a point of vaccines. It's herd immunity. Like a 1 week old baby is like exactly half the population these are made for.
Also,
One,
this
1
is-
year old, not 1 week old.
Oh, turning 1 the week.
Still,
Okay,
that's
fine.
still like
1
an- I
still,
mean,
yeah.
One.
I
The
keep
and
I
the
kept fucking
sister-in-law
that up.
like
That's
did
funny.
this in a pretty reasonable way, right? Like the sister-in-law probably went to a doctor's appointment and they were like, "Hey, like you should think about does your family have the flu shot before like the holidays, right? Because like you're gonna spend a bunch of time together. Like you should make sure that that happens." And then she shot a text over to her brother. She didn't like get her mother right. They're going to the mother-in-law's house. She didn't get like the mother-in-law to say like you're barred from coming in unless you have the flu shot. Like
Yeah.
she just shot a text over and was like, "Hey, it would be great if you could do this because like that's what it is advisable
to protect her child. Yeah.
for my child and my child's health."
Myrna F writes, YTA, the flu can kill her child and even 25% is more effective than 0. Go F yourself for putting a brand new baby in danger. For no reason.
new
That's kind of a
Brand
weird
new.
A
concept.
bright and shiny baby. It
We
has
just
that new
bought
car
it.
smell.
Yeah, we just bought it from the
killed
store.
a 3-year-old? Well, it wasn't brand new, so who
Yeah,
gives a
right?
shit? A brand new baby. Be careful. Andrea P writes, NTA, I'm assuming she takes her baby in public. Is she screening anyone who comes near her or her kid? Probably not. She's a dick.
Okay, but see that literally, that's the entire point of herd immunity. It's like, yes, you can't control every random person you come into public with. You can attempt to try to control like your immediate family.
Right. And I also believe, like, short of hellscape nightmare cities like New York, you're not necessarily going to engage with like hundreds of people at close proximity just because you have a baby.
That's kind of true, yeah.
Right. Like if you live in freaking Little Rock, Arkansas, having 4 people run around your house, breathe all the same air,
Right.
like, there's far more a chance of transmission than
Even if you live in like Atlanta, you're probably just like you're driving to the grocery store. All right,
Also,
you're
this
driving to
person-
the doctor. Okay.
Exactly.
You're not in like fucking Times Square with your 1-year-old baby.
Right.
This person also like, do they want her to be a bigger asshole? Like, do they want her to try to control every person around her? Like,
Right.
she's just trying to control the people that she like feasibly can, right? Like, she can exert a little bit of influence with her brother.
Exactly.
She can't like make every person she interacts with get a flu shot.
Right,
So
but
like
that's
she's
the
doing
whole-
what she
yeah.
can to protect her child. Like,
Exactly.
within reason. This feels like within reason.
And that's the whole point of these vaccines is like you just hope that enough people have it that you're going to not have to come into contact with this. Also, I feel like the anti-vaxxers kind of came out in this thread.
Oh boy.
Don't you think? I feel like this
Yeah.
person is an anti-vaxxer.
Little anti-vaxxy. Mariana G writes, nope, NTA, your body, you're right.
I'm so tired
Oh
of seeing you guys fucking bastardize a phrase that we use to like talk about women's reproductive rights for like every dumbass thing.
Oh my God.
I'm so tired. I see it all the time.
I've never seen you this angry.
Yeah, I'm so tired of it. Like I see it all the time. It's like people just use it to apply to like random ass things, and it's like, yes,
That's
it's your
so
body
true.
and it is your right, and that's true. But that's not the question here, because when you think about it, if the sister-in-law asked everybody to get a flu shot and you're just not going to do it,
Madness.
really the question is, would I be the asshole for lying to my sister, putting her baby in danger just because I didn't want to get a flu shot? And it's like, yes,
Right.
even if it is your body and your right, that's not the issue at all.
Right.
I'm out.
I mean, yeah, I'm really leaning a certain way with this. You got really mad, Sarah, and wrote, I'm tired of this effing argument. Let's go off.
Well, that was what I just did with the your body, your right.
Oh, I see. It felt very natural. But you were angry when you were writing this, clearly.
Yeah, I told you.
Lindsay N writes, YTA, it's a reasonable request when a new baby can't get them. And just because you might not feel ill, it doesn't mean you can't still pass things on, even if it's not likely. Herd immunity is so important. I work with children and have a new nephew, and certainly wouldn't take any chances. You're well within your right to not believe in or get flu shots, but also within her right to deny you access to her child because of that.
Right. That's the question. It's like, okay, you're going to ignore the request, but you're not going to probably tell the sister, and you're not going to not go to Thanksgiving. So you're going to lie, and that's fucked up.
What if she doesn't lie, though? Is that really lying?
So if she tells
omits?
her and she's like, I'm not getting the flu shot, then the sister can be like, all right, well, you're not going to be able to hang out with the baby, and that's fine, I guess. But it doesn't seem like this person is going to like make any sort of allowances. It seems they're just like, no, I'm just going to do what I want.
It seems like the disagreement, too, because it's sort of like she's acting like this is an affront. And I really think that's because like I like to cut the facts out as much as possible with vaccines. It's like, fine. Well, no, look, obviously I am pro-vaccine. I do believe Earth is flat, but I believe that vaccines are good, etc. But like, look, you are entitled. If you're a kook and you read kooky Tumblr blogs and you think vaccines cause autism, you're allowed to do that. That doesn't mean that you can blatantly disrespect someone who does believe in vaccines. Like if that's how we're really going to put it. And it's like, just respect this. And I think that's what she's most wrong about, that this request is inappropriate. It just seems like the most appropriate kind of request.
Right.
It was such a mild request. It was so mildly put. I mean, it's just not a big inconvenience. Like it just feels like a perfectly reasonable request. Can this person respond by not doing it? Sure. Like she can not do it.
Absolutely. Then
And,
she
like,
should not go to Thanksgiving or whatever.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like she's going to ignore the request, but also still attempt to like do all the family stuff. And it's like, that's wrong.
That is wrong. That is wrong. Because it's basically, the request is basically saying like, look, this is important to me. I believe this is a viable threat. To not even address it is just disrespectful.
She also didn't even throw a sentence in there about why she doesn't believe in the flu shot, right? Like, and she has 2 children.
Yeah.
Like, she's been going to the doctor recently. Like, her doctor, I'm sure, has told her about the flu shot. Like, she didn't even offer up any reason why she does not believe. Like, it is this
She
isn't
just said,
God.
'cause
This isn't about like, do you believe that there's a man looking down on you from the sky? This is like,
Right.
there are these signs, there's evidence, and like, do you disagree with the evidence and why? Like,
I guess I got it. I don't know. I'm also kind of skeptical. I'm like, are you actually vaccinated if you don't believe in the flu shot? It's not Santa Claus. What do you mean?
well, they're distinct, like where I started.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the science is different because the flu shot is being developed every year. But still, like I said, she has 2 kids, so I'm sure she's going to the doctor every year, unlike me that I haven't been in like 3 years. So, like she's hearing the latest updates,
Right.
and I'm sure the latest advice she's gotten from her doctor, because this is the latest in the standard of care, is like no matter who you are, you should be getting the flu shot.
Right. That's the thing that I don't get, because I've seriously never heard of anything other than that.
There
For the
was
past,
some
like-
disagreement in the scientific
Well, but
community
Sarah,
because
you're saying that, but you just said that you didn't get the flu shot last
The
year.
reason is because I was paranoid about feeling the flu-like symptoms, and I would admit that. I didn't want to feel like possibly sniffly, possibly like I had
Right.
flu
and you
for
weren't
a
hanging
few
out with
days.
an infant.
And I wasn't hanging out with an infant, but like, I don't not believe in the flu shot. I'm just like a baby and didn't want to potentially deal with like very short-term adverse consequences.
Which is where the science used to be. It was like, for most healthy people who aren't hanging out with babies or old people, like it's not worth the risk that you are going to feel bad because you're very unlikely to get the flu. But now,
right.
like, we reached a point
And
where
it
like,
wouldn't
hey,
kill me.
yeah, like, hey, everyone, like, just do it. Like, it's actually just better for
Right.
the population
Right.
as a whole.
But if I
you just
was
get the
going to
flu
hang
shot.
out with babies or I worked with children or whatever, like I would get the flu shot. Or I was going to hang out with elderly people, I would get it.
Right.
And if it was your job, I'm pretty sure you're like legally required to
Right,
get it.
right. I
So,
guess that's a
like,
separate issue. But like, again,
separate
if
issue,
I,
but
if I
shows
was
to the
hanging out with
extent
people
that,
who
like,
were like
people agree.
immunocompromised, then I would get it. But
I like the idea that you're just like, I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna go hang out with some elderly.
I mean, like
people."
all my grandparents are
ones?
dead. So like,
Yeah,
who else would I hang
yeah,
out with?
Just some elderly
Yeah.
people. They're just old and shit. How'd
Yeah.
you find them, Sarah? Don't ask any more.
Sarah's going to
questions.
print out some memes and she's going to take them
Yeah.
over, walk them through the joke.
and explain it. Oh my God, that'd be so good.
All right, I think we agree on this. AITA for denying my sister-in-law's request to get my family flu shots before visiting her 1-year-old. Well, actually, so the wording here is a little bit snippy because she's not an asshole for denying the request.
Yeah, you're an asshole for like trying to hang out with the 1-year-old anyway.
Yeah. Well put. Perfectly put. So,
So everyone's just the asshole on this app.
Is a sister-in-law the asshole for asking her relatives to get the flu shot?
no. So we would say this is why what
You would be the asshole, I think, is
Yeah.
the proper verdict.
YWBTA because you're
It
trying
sucks.
to hang out.
But yeah,
All right, guys. Well, is there anything else, Danny? Do you want to tell us about any lawyer assholes that you encounter? Any, or you could come out. You know, the audience hates me. You should talk shit about me. They would love that.
yeah, true.
No, you just had surgery. You poor thing. You're recovering. I'm not going to attack you, but every lawyer's an asshole. That's just like the nature of the game.
Heh.
Why don't you tell the story of what happened on your birthday a couple years ago?
No, you want to tell that story?
Yeah, tell it. We can always cut it if
Sounds
it's too
great.
bad.
Let's do it.
Sarah, have you heard the story?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Danny and I had been dating for like maybe a year already. It's my birthday. It's my 26th birthday, I
Sure.
think. He comes to Boston. He's visiting. I have the next week the biggest like week of my life. It's all of my like recruiting for law jobs after I graduate from law school. And it's my birthday, and I don't think Danny wanted to surprise me with the whole plan. So he comes into town. He's now in Boston. We get in a car. We're driving someplace. I don't know where. This is all like unknown to me. And I can tell that he's just like not a happy boy. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why aren't you happy? And he doesn't really say anything. And, you know, we kind of go through the day, and I can just tell that he's like not there. Finally, we get home. We're hanging out. And he like breaks down and looks like he's about to cry. And I'm like, what's happening? And he's like, I just don't know if I love you anymore.
What?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
On her birthday?
On my birthday. Couldn't hold it in.
Oh,
Couldn't
shit.
hold it in. And
Well, I did try to hold it in, and then I started crying. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, you got to explain that. You're a grown man crying.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so he's like, I just don't know if I love you anymore. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need some information here.
Yeah, why?
And at some point, the quote just, I don't know if I'm attracted to you anymore gets dropped.
Oof.
And like our whole kind of like way of hanging was to ease. So like I
speechless.
had gained weight over the course of our relationship, but so had he.
Mhm.
I was, you know, like
Yep.
not looking my best, but I wasn't like a monster. And yeah, he was just like, essentially was just like, you're fat. And then he was like,
Oh boy.
okay, so the next part of your surprise starts at this time, and we need to leave now. And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Oh, this is like worse timing than this guy's proposal.
Yeah. And so we like get in a car and start driving. I'm like, so this whole time we're driving, I'm like crying, he's crying, we're like talking through his emotions. And I was like, well, being fat is a very solvable problem. Is like that the only thing that's going on here?
Yeah.
And like we're talking
Right.
through this. We get to where we're going. He's like, we're doing a sunrise helicopter tour of Boston, or sunset.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
we're getting on a helicopter, and like we're like angry and upset and emotional. Then we get on the helicopter. We're in the helicopter. It's Boston at sunset. It's beautiful. Everything's fine. We're happy. We're laughing. You see pictures from that moment, and it's like super happy. And then we land, and then
Wow.
it's immediately back to like we're breaking up.
Oh, wow.
We go to dinner with my best friend, and you know that's super awkward. And then he just leaves. Right? You leave that night.
Back to New York.
Oh my God.
Leaves back to New York. And I just like am dying, and I'm like, cool, I'm getting interviewed for literally, I'm like, I have 35 interviews next week. And I am in bed, like not able to move, crying. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. And then we got back together, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, so
Huh?
hate me, people. I deserve. Well, so I mean, the sort of
That's
background is
Epically bad timing.
because it really felt like a virus. Like I got a virus when I felt all
Oh
these
yeah, I
feelings.
forgot
and
what
the sort
the
of
background
the
is.
sort of reason all this happened is that this girl I grew up with, like literally grew up with, like from being a child,
Yeah.
came to New York, and I had like spent a whole day with her. And I wasn't consciously even thinking about her, but I think I was kind of going, and she had just moved to New York. And so I think I was kind of going through this fantasy of a life with her. I wasn't consciously doing it, but I think my brain, who literally stared at this girl for, I don't know, 20 years, was like, oh, we're going to switch to that train. And it's like, there was no reality there. So I called my dad, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, it was definitely her. That's definitely why you're feeling this way. Because my dad's a psychologist.
So he literally got to New York and then
Yeah.
got back on a bus to come back to Boston. Like it was like less than like a few hours of him
Yep.
like being in New York with us broken up before he came back and apologized.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, it took a
Wow.
long time to move forward from
I was
that
going to say, I'm
incident.
impressed that you guys did move forward from that.
I apologize pretty much every day for months. I would say 2 months. Just
Wow.
and took a lot of working through it, but we did.
I'm glad you guys did.
I feel like the story was not very good, but
I also
it's just-
I honestly got to give you props for going back to Boston. Fuck that place.
Brutal.
Why is it so far from New York? It takes 5 hours any way you
Why is
slice
so
it.
far from New York?
It's awful. It takes 5 hours any way you slice it. I took an Amtrak. Why was this shit 5 hours? Like
It's crazy. I'll tell
literally.
you one time and one time only out of probably 50 at least bus rides.
Yeah.
The bus took 3 hours and 40 minutes. And I was
What?
like, what the fuck just happened?
That's how long it really takes. But then somehow it takes double that time, and you're like,
well, it's because of New York.
Every-
like, as we did on Boston, it's New
even
York.
the
It's true.
Amtrak.
Yeah, I don't know.
Amtrak took 5 hours. I'm
I
like,
think
oh, great.
Every road on the eastern seaboard, every road, every train track, every runway is currently being repaired.
Right?
That's just
Yeah,
how it
at
is.
any hour of the day or night, like driving to Cape Cod, again, should be a 4-hour drive
Yep.
that takes 6 to 7 hours.
I don't know. My work now has me doing recruiting in Boston, and like
Oof, I'm sorry.
when someone else is paying for your Uber and someone else is paying for your flight, and your Uber there, like it wasn't that bad. It was like 3 hours.
The flight?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing because you fly to Boston, but then you have to spend 2 hours in the airport. You're in the air for 45
you
minutes.
you take the little shuttle, and the little shuttle you don't have to get there an hour and a half ahead of time. And if you are able to Uber there and back, like it's a super crazy way to spend money, right?
It's
like
crazy.
it ends up costing like $500 to
Right.
get to some place that like you could take a $25 bus to, but
Yeah.
if you're not paying for it, then it's a reasonable way to get to Boston.
Or I'm just
Unfortunately-
going to never go to Boston again.
Well, Danny's
That's
friends
good.
listen to the podcast, so at least we know one other big shot lawyer who goes to Boston on a freaking flight will relate to
Right.
that.
It's like, would I fly to Ithaca? No. It seems irresponsible.
I fly to Brooklyn, okay, people?
Pretty much.
Which is weird because the airport's in Brooklyn. All right, guys. Well, I think that's the ep, Sarah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Danny. Thank you for joining me.
Thank
you for
you.
being my girlfriend. Thank you for
Aw.
caring for me while I have appendicitis.
Aw.
Guys, we will see you next Monday morning.
Yep.